that's unimportant. In 19, oh boy, I guess 79, the Supreme Court came down on the bill system for having interstate communications all over the nation. They said anytime you cross a state line with a saleable product like you sell between interstates is not right, you're not licensed to do, and thou shalt deplete all of that business and dissolve your relationship with the baby bills. And we recognize that in the process of doing so, the marketing is going to take a beating. And because I had worked in Helena with the hospital community and the physician community, I had an opportunity to go to work for St. Peter's Hospital as the personnel director. And I honestly had to tell them I had no experience with that kind of employment at all. I said, I don't want that. And about a month later, they came back to me from St. Peter's and said, Harry Rogers was the administrator in 1979. And he said, I'm also the president of the Montana Hospital Association. Would you be interested in working for them? I said, well, I don't know. I'd like to talk to them about it. And at that point in time, I found out that, yes, I had been where to learn things they needed to do in the hospital business. And so I worked for them for 20 years and enjoyed every bit of it. It was challenging. We did, when Medicare became a reality, about 80 or 81, I think there was something like 47 hospitals in Montana. They were all freestanding, locally owned and operated. Some of them lived off of the gratitude of the community financially to govern themselves. And so they had no concept of what the requirements of Medicare would be. For example, Medicare said the laundry is too close to the dietary, you have to move them. The front steps got to be removed and you have to put risers in there. The hallways are too narrow, the walls are too narrow. The boilers have got to be replaced and doubled, you need 2 of those and 2 air conditioners. Well, they just went to part. Most of them didn't know what a spreadsheet was for in accounting. They were doing a magnificent job themselves. They did it, and they did it locally. Now they're doing it like the government tells them to do it, and they're still doing a remarkably good job.
How many do you think there are now?
7 majors and probably 10, 12 independents.
So they've reduced in number.
Yeah, but you see, the Missoula community was freestanding for many years. Now I understand that Billings Deaconess is going to take over management. Why, I don't know, when the great St. Hospital in Missoula.
St. Patrick's, yeah.
Yeah, it was right across town, so I don't understand that. But I worked there until, when was it I retired? God, 1999 I retired.
So have you stayed going out in the woods and working, fishing, that kind of stuff? You stay with it? You still do that?
Oh, well, I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to, by myself. I've gone out several times with other guys, but they've been my age. And one false step when you're out there alone is Katie bar the door, there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And a lot of us aren't willing to do that for family reasons.
Yeah.
But you can see on the wall, I built that house up on Saddle Mountain. Jackie and I did that from scratch. And,
Oh yeah.
39 Bridlebit Loop is the location of that house. There's a summer picture and a winter picture.
And then there's a Smokejumper picture there. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that was the fire on the Townsend side. The small light you see here is Montana City store.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, as you look back, look back over all these things that you've done.
well, what baffles me is what in the world are you going to do with it?
Well, as you look back over all the stuff that you've done, have you given much thought to whether or not being a smoke jumper made a difference in your life?
Oh, I didn't go there, so it's hard to say.
Whether being a smoke jumper made a difference?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because I can look in the mirror and say, and I guess I do so to well, people say, why weren't you in the service? In those days, they don't anymore, of course. But no, not being in the service had nothing to do with who I am today. The smoke jumpers are, because I can say I'd been there, I'd done it, and I walked away with my head up. I think that was one of the strongest opportunities to take a strong stand on who you are and what have you done. That sounds boastful, but it didn't mean so. When you say that I've been there and I've done that, well, you can kind of smile to yourself.
Thank you very much.